All right. How's it going, everybody? Today we're doing some more detail work on our guy, Dirty Nasty Custodian. I think that we're going to try and do all the jewels today, and I'm going to teach you how to do like the glass effect in a little bit of detail, especially on the forehead because it's so pronounced. It'll be really easy to see just for the eye, and if we make it really shiny, it's going to look really good. It's going to make kind of like the rest of everything pop. So that's the goal. So let's give that a shot today and see what happens. We're going to make it a red jewel to match with the rest of the theme. Oop, I'm going to drop everything first. We're going to make it a red jewel to match with the rest of the theme. And I'm going to show you all the colors we're going to use for that. Okay. Switch to the painting cam. We've got our guy, and then here are our colors. We're going to start with Rhinox hide, a nice red-brown, and very dark. We don't need to do anything to this because it's got enough of a red tint and it's dark enough. So this is going to be the base of the jewel. And then we're going to do a transition of corn red, then to a bright red, orange, and then finally a super thin line, if we can manage it, of the moonbeam yellow. Again, we've used all these colors so far on the model already, so it's going to match with the hide. The only one that's not is the Rhinox hide, because it's got to be just a little bit different. We have the Mornfang brown, but it's not anywhere near dark enough, so we're not going to use that. But here we go. Back where I had them. I got this cool spindle thingy. You can't see it on screen, but I have a neat, like, actually I could probably show you. A little spinny thingy makes it easy to access some of these paints or throw them everywhere, one of the two. Let's get started here. So we're gonna do the front jewel as the example first. So I'm gonna kind of zoom in and show you. It's still tiny, so it's not like it's gonna be taking a lot of paint or really difficult, but if we can get it to be really pronounced, then we can make it look really nice. That's right, Ozzy. It's gonna look really good. Unless you were talking about my spin thing. Nice. $10 piece of kit there. Okay. Get this Rhinox hide. I'll never understand the pot obsession with Citadel paints. It's just not cohesive to actual work. We don't need too much of this at all. Yeah, we'll do palette cam. Oh, the spinny thingy? Yeah. I got it from there's a local hobby shop that's near me, and it was like the last one, and it was literally had like a layer of dust on it. And the guy had marked it down to $10. I guess it was like originally like 20 something, and I'm like, sweet deal. Why not? I could use this spin thing. Get these all, or at least the two Citadel paints on here. There we go. That's plenty. Again, that jewel is like teeny tiny, but it's gonna look huge when we're done. At least in reference to the rest of the model. Okay. So let's get that base Rhinox hide. Brown may seem counterintuitive, but it is a red. To make brown, you have to have red. Zoom in. Let's see if I can focus up here. There we go. Okay. You don't have to be super crazy careful because the edges of the gold rim are pretty easy to fix. Yeah, focal point, exactly. And we can already tell where the light's coming from because it's going to be coming down from the middle because we made that at the very beginning. So the focal point gets to be vertical, where sometimes it can be from like the side or underneath, depending on where you have your main light source, but ours is pretty obvious. So this is actually a pretty easy jewel to do. The thing that you definitely do want to do, if you can manage it, is getting as close to that little gold edge as you can, because that makes it look more round. So something like this. So we've got that brown base color. And because we're going vertical, we're going to do little crescent moons going underneath. So it's going to look like this. Focus up, bring about the old pen and paper. So we've got a circle, and then the brown base, and then we're going to do progressive colors in these shapes going down, becoming lighter and lighter, with the focal point being at the top. So it's going to look real fancy. The hardest part is actually that dot at the top, because if you mess that up, you have to kind of start over. Unless if you make it too huge, or if your brush is too wet and the white gets everywhere. So you got to be surgically precise with that white dot. But if you get it right, oh man, it ties the room together, you know what I mean? It's like a nice rug. Exactly. You can make it even more shiny if you have something like, let's see, this. Oh, that's not it. It's Ard Coat. It's a gloss varnish that Citadel makes that I like. But if you have any other kind of gloss varnish, a brushable one, putting it on the jewel makes it all that much more shiny looking. And the white accent just helps. Okay, so let's do the first layer of corn red. And you can, if it's easier, just make the whole bottom portion of the jewel the corn red and do that progressively with the other colors. It may actually be better to do that, especially since we're going with such a light yellow at the end, because if you don't get a progressive lightness, it's going to be really difficult. So let's see. I wish my camera could zoom in more, but that's as far as it goes. But I'll show you after I put this on what we're going for. Something else that if you want to be extra fancy is leave a little bit of the edge of the jewel, that original brown. Just if you can. If your hand is not steady enough, don't worry about it. It's still going to look great. Okay. Not wearing any hyper magnifying glasses, so I don't know how well this turned out, but let's take a look. I don't know if my camera could even focus that close. There we go. So progressively getting red, and then we're going to go even brighter. Now we're going with the fiery vermilion. our super bright red before we get into the oranges. This is going to be what the jewel is actually colored. Like if you were to describe it, this is the color of the jewel. It's always the middle tone. Everything else is the light refraction. Thank you. Appreciate it. I hope I sound professional enough. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this particular paint is that no matter what, no matter how much you mix this paint is crazy thick. So it will require watering down if you have this one. But a different brand alternative will probably work just as good. Okay. Let's do the next layer. Again, you can do the entire bottom portion. And if you have the ability, leave that little strip of brown on the bottom, because it will ironically highlight the other colors. It'll make them more stand outish. Because if the bright goes all the way to the gold, less of an illusion. Okay, if I did that, I can barely see it myself, but I think I did it. Take a look. So we're getting there. The progressive brightness. Already looking pretty good. You could, if you really wanted to, just stop there and put the dot at the top, and it will be sufficient to look really nice. But if you want to be extra fancy, we've got a whole 2 other layers to go. And we're the try-hard stream, folks. So that if anyone is to ever pick up this model on the tabletop or otherwise, you invite your friends over for pizza or whatever, and somebody without your permission goes over and picks up your bottles and stuff and looks at it, they're gonna be like, wow, there's like 5 colors on that jewel. I wonder how they did that. And you get to have that little bit of satisfaction. Pro levels, come on. I don't know about all that. That'd be cool though. I would love to get a nicely worded letter in the mail from one of these paint brands saying like, we'd love to give you a 5% discount on a pack of our paints. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So this is the lava orange. Let's see if I can not mess up the red. This is where it gets pretty tough because essentially we're just doing little tiny dots. Thin as we can go. And then the yellow is going to be almost imperceptible. There we go. Okay. I wish. Maybe if we keep growing. Okay. There we go. Little orange crescent moon at the bottom. Now we're gonna. This is where we're gonna get greedy. Can we do the yellow? Because it looks pretty good. And essentially what you can do is the opposite of a, if you don't want to do a stroke, you can do a dot, and that will be enough to kind of fool the brain into thinking it's a full-blown stroke. If the jewel is bigger, then of course you're going to do another crescent. But in this case, it's so small that you're going to do the opposite dot. You're going to do a tiny little one in the center of the orange stroke, and then you're going to do the white at the top. Okay. And by the way, if anyone wants to know how to do this, like the real, you know, method, it's just practice. It's not anything special. In fact, I have my my first ever mini right here, and I'll show you after I attempt this. Okay. Hold my breath here. Don't mess up. I think we did it. Okay. Not quite center, but that's only gonna bother me. Boom. That's 5 colors on one circle. I think that looks pretty good. And now we get the coup de grace, the white on top, and this is white ink. I like white ink because it's so versatile. I like it better than the white paint because the white paint is too thick. If you do especially dots, I've had situations where they literally come out as little mounds, and it looks just bad. So I like the white ink, and it's easy to get. And for this particular instance, I'm not going to use this same brush. I'm going to use a dry brush, and what I mean by that is so I have, whenever at the end of each of my sessions, I clean the brushes, and then I use this. There's a brush repair gel, and essentially it's kind of like I would describe it as almost like a hair gel. It dries firm. So you make your brushes into a fine point using something like your hand like this and pulling it through with the material on it, and it makes it really pointy. And then it dries super firm. So I'm not gonna wet this. I'm gonna leave it at a razor point, pinpoint, dip it in the ink to get just the tip wet, and then tap it. That's all I'm gonna do. I do not wet the brush and make the bristles separate. Keep it thin like that. See if we can get it in the right spot. And because it's ink, it won't dry quickly. Almost. A little more. There it is. Boom. Vertical gems are the easiest. By far. See if we can get a little bit. There it is. So it was brown, dark red, red, which is the color of the gem, orange, dot of yellow at the bottom, dot of white at the top. You see, that took 25 minutes. You don't need to do that with a tabletop, all the tabletop models. and it's mostly just for you to see, because nobody's gonna pick it up and look at it that close. But if they do, it'll be really impressive. They'll be like, wow. All right. Now, comparing this guy to, let's see, our first mini. Boom. Black Templar. Look how glossy he is. The idea was, when I did him back in the day, that I should cover him in a full gloss so that he looks like shiny metal. But that's how you learn. And I just use that normal Citadel paste that they put in the bottle. It's like a terrain paste on the bottom. Nice and thick white coats here. Tried my best at the edge highlighting, which I think turned out okay for one of my first guys. But the gloss is doing a ton of work there. for like the metal on the gun. I love looking at this guy. He's a reminder of a whole bunch of stuff. It does look like shiny metal, but I love it. Lots of lessons learned on this guy. But comparing this to this, worlds of difference in time. Totally different. But no real special techniques that change from here to here, other than practice and just learning how paint works. Really learning how paint works is the thing. Because this is when you first don't know how to thin, don't know what colors would work well under the white, because the reason I had to put so many, the reason why the white is so thick is because I had to put so many coats to cover the black. Same thing with the leather on the bottom there. So many coats to cover the black. Same thing with the red and even the gold. Lots of different changes from here to here. But everybody can do it. So that's a good lessons. So we're gonna do the rest of the jewels. We don't have to be so careful as the head jewel going forward, because that's really the centerpiece. You can probably do be as careful as that on, say, like this one. This is another kind of pronounced piece. The big shoulder guard with the one big jewel. That's the other biggest jewel that you have. This one has 3, but it's particularly dirty. It's the weapon arm. So it's okay if that one looks a little bit, battle damaged and things like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep it with the same theme. So we're gonna try this one next. Same scheme. Sucking my snot into my nose. Here we go. Per your suggestion, I started listening to Master of Mankind on audiobooks. Audible audiobooks. This is probably the first Black Library novel that I'm gonna listen to from beginning to end. All of my other lore knowledge has been snipped together from other people talking about it. Probably like most people. But I'm going to try to start actually reading some of the novels. And this one's particularly good. I picked it because, of course, it's Custodes. based. And I'm at like chapter 6 as of this morning. One thing that I noticed in it is that there's a scene where the demon, the main demon, the ender of empires, the demon of the first murder, kills a Mechanicus, not a general, but like a big deal guy. He kills him who's doing some scouting, and they make it a point to say like, oh, but we want to make sure that you know that the Mechanicus guy had enough consciousness so that when he was eaten, he felt the acid of the stomach for like a second before he died. I'm like, that's fucked up. The Night Lord's omnibus. Is that gonna have like I'm drawing a blank on what omnibus means. Is that like a general collection of like all the Night Lord's books, or is that a literal from beginning to end history of the Night Lords? Is it just metal? Just super metal? I know that the Night Lords use the fear tactics, like, hey, let's all get on the same page here, and we're gonna start by flaying everybody alive, or as many people until you just start listening. Just the 3? Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, this is the corn red coat. Did the brown, now doing the corn red crescents. This is a giant jewel. This one's actually gonna look really good if we do it as well as the first one. The bigger the jewel, the better this effect kind of looks. So this one you can have a little bit more fun. And it's a little more forgiving with the lines. Okay. Now the main red. By the way, I don't know how to put YouTube chat on the screen. I should probably figure out how to do that. I know that Twitch chat works, but I haven't been able to figure out how YouTube chat works. I know that probably on YouTube you might be able to see it, but I'm not even sure. Okay. Okay. Does it actually show up on YouTube? Or is it am I crazy? Oh wait, YouTube has its own chat box on the right. I haven't looked at what the layout looks like. OBS is the only thing that I see. Lava orange. Okay. Turning out pretty good. Now the central dot slash small swipe of the brightest yellow. There we go. And then the dry brush again, or as dry as we can get it. Wait, actually, that is no longer. I forgot. I actually rinsed that up. That is no longer dry. Don't do that. Do not rinse out at least this brush that you're using for dot highlights. No, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to use a different brush. Cowardice wins the day here. Try a different one. There we go. Cowardice or wisdom. One of the two. Mixture of both. And there it is. Another nice little jewel done. He's looking pretty slick, this guy. Very good. And we keep going. Yeah, wisdom. We're going to call it wisdom because it worked this time. We're going to call it wisdom. Always take credit for everything that you do, including accidents that are successful. You'll win at more things than just painting. Actually, if anybody wants real advice, I have been hyper successful in my individual career outside of this by being something that people should learn is take credit for everything that you do. Don't let anybody else take credit for you. And if you ever have the situation where you are under the supervision of a boss and you have situations where you have one-on-ones or individual conversations with them, get used to asking this question. What do you need to see from me so that you are confident the next time there is an opportunity for advancement or a promotion in putting my name on that list? And specifically say it that way. What do you need to see from me so that you are confident in doing that? The reason why you say that is because it says two things. One, that you understand that their endorsement is what is going to allow you to move forward, even if you are hyper skilled. More often than not, your direct supervisor or direct boss, whatever situation that you have, is going to be your strongest ally or strongest detractor in whatever situation that you're in. If you're trying to advance or you're trying to get a raise or anything like that, their word is very easily taken at a higher value than yours, even if you are directly responsible for something really good or something really valuable for the company. or whatever it is that you're doing. I don't know why I decided to go off on that tangent, but felt necessary at the time. But it has allowed me the opportunity to do this with all the paints that I have and all the little crap that I've accumulated over time. Is also a result of learning how to ask questions like that. Okay. 3 balls done. Was that out of focus the entire time? Nice. That was out of focus advice time, advice hour. Need to pay attention to my screen. Okay, here comes the horn red. Oh, and also in the same vein, never, ever, ever assume that you being good at anything, if you're in a position where you are under the supervision of somebody, if you're just being good at that task will get you to the next level. It won't. In fact, it's typically going to work against you if you're not loud about your desires, specifically if you want to get more money or if you want to get promoted. Nobody is going to, without reason, give you more than what you currently have if you're not asking for it. They want to continue to pay you the same thing if for as long as possible. So always, always, always advocate for yourself in every position, in every situation you can. It will never, ever, ever. even in situations where you are a direct supervisor, you can if you've ever had that opportunity to be a supervisor over somebody else in anything, I bet you really valued your strongest employee or your most valuable teammate, and you really don't want to see them go anywhere. And if they want to be promoted, guess what? They're not going to be on your team anymore, typically. So even if you don't intend to, the structure of that situation, you are inherently wanting to have the strongest team for as long as possible, which means you're not going to ask them what they want, or you're not going to promote them if they don't ask for it. So be that guy. Be the squeaky wheel. It will serve you extremely well. Got a little bit of red on the gold there. It's still an easy fix. Okay. Now for the main red. Wonder if I'm giving away how old I am with the way that I talk. Probably. I'm guessing anybody who watches this knows that I'm not a zoomer. Main red. Forget that these jewels on this one are particularly large. Like this, the bottom one is huge, but they get smaller as you go up. Almost. 31. just old enough to not be able to buy a house. Just old enough to not have to participate. I love that meme. Uh, I'm just old enough not to participate in any wars, uh, but not old enough to have gotten any financial gain from the time that I was able to actually make money. What's that? I've forgotten. There was a good part of that meme. But I did get to experience the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube in its heyday, which is all that matters. Because games used to be good. Okay. Turning out nicely here. Okay. Turning into the advice stream. Because now my brain is thinking about nothing but, like, what else can I say to anybody watching who might watch this later and was like, oh, I'm having trouble with such and so. Another cool thing is I've been married for almost 10 years. I'll tell you, that changes your brain chemistry. The most wonderful thing that ever happened to me. There we go. Thank you. It's the best. And I do mean that sincerely. If anybody has doubts, even if you're young, that like, oh, is this, the right person for me, but you have that feeling and you say in your mind that I love this person enough to marry them, do it. Because once that happens, I'm telling you, it really does change your brain chemistry. You stop worrying about the imperative that you'd been worrying about for the entire first half of your life. And suddenly you can focus on so many more things that you didn't think that you could focus on, including hobbies like this one. So if that's something that you're interested in, do it. Oh man. Very good. Okay. There we go. 3 gems. Man, all these gems are turning out fucking sick, by the way. I'm on a roll today with these gems. They are looking swell. Dang right. What's another good word? Tubular, maybe. Ah, that's like a surfing term. Totally tubular. We're watching Rocket Power on Nickelodeon. Okay. So the main gems are. Oh, we have one more. Actually, we missed the little pauldron. That's right. This guy's blinged out. Just because his shit is all old and gross doesn't mean that he didn't have drip from the very beginning. Here we go. Last one, and then that'll probably close it out for today. One more thing of advice for any and all who care to hear it. If you enjoy something and you're worried about how good you'll be at it, stop. Because if that stops you from doing something that you even something that you perceive that you'll enjoy, you'll never you'll never commit to anything, and you'll be able to deny yourself those things forever. Take some risks. Try painting, even if you're bad, because one, you can get better, but two, if you enjoyed it, it was worth doing anyway. And who's to say painting is subjective anyway? Who cares what people think? So some of the worst art that that I think is out there sells for millions of dollars. So it doesn't matter what any individual person thinks. It matters how you feel about it. Even if it's a super niche hobby like this one. Who knows? Could be the thing that introduces you to a best friend or allows you the confidence to do something else that you didn't think that you were going to do. Hell yeah! Do it. Do it and post the result. I want to see it. Okay. Here's the red. What are you gonna paint? You gonna paint a Night Lord? Holding my breath too often. My wife sometimes will yell at me from the other side of the room because she'll watch me do this, and she'll be like, "Babe, breathe." If I'm really, really concentrating, because she'll like, your chest stops moving. Pretty funny. The mini of the month. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Oh, is it like a? Is it? That's cool that they actually have a mini of the month situation. That's a good game store. If they can run competitions, that means they're going to be around a while. All right. Final little yellow bit. Man, I need to get a better camera. This manual focus is not it. We'll get there. All right. Here's the last white highlight. And we did it, folks. We bedazzled our guy just like we said we would. That little dot. Boom. Keep these jewels. Mm-hmm. That's right. Those turned out really, really good. Thanks for joining, Cole. Oh man, we got the two chatters. That's insane. Thanks, Oz. I appreciate you. One whole stream. Thank you for the hour of time. All right. We did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewels. Next time, let's see what we're gonna do. Let's see what we still got to do. So this is the part when we get to every mini, any mini, where you get to be, you become over scrutinous. So there's small stuff that still needs to get done. There's the Aquillas on the tops of the gloves. Well, we know how to do that. It's the gold mixed with the sepia. The back of the mini. So there's little metal bits and this sword. That's actually going to be a big focal point. Yeah, the Infinity Stones. Oh yeah. This sword is going to really be the centerpiece of the back. So we're going to take our time. That might be a whole stream by itself. We'll do like all the other detail before that, because if we can make that look good, that means that the rest of it, the whole back, is going to look great. But that'll conclude today's stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. And hopefully, if any of the advice was good, I hope that you liked it, and then liked my first mini too. Let's put him back on screen. So, first versus current. Man, this side camera. Oh yeah, I think we got a little bit better. Very good. Good night, everybody. See you later.